And my next speaker has an incredible resume, and he knows what he's talking about. He's passionate about this organization and what it's doing. Tony Gonzalez is on the Alzheimer's Association Governing Board of Directors. He himself was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment in 2021. Prior to his diagnosis, he enjoyed a 25-year career in radio broadcasting. He had a successful career in real estate banking and advertising, and more recently, worked as community development manager for the American Cancer Society. In addition to his national appointment, Gonzalez is a member of the Alzheimer's Association National Early Stage Advisory Group, where he helps raise awareness of Alzheimer's and other dementia by sharing members' personal insights and experiences of living with dementia with media and other audiences across the country. He is walking the walk and talking the talk. Please help me welcome Tony Gonzalez.
Hello, everyone. Small Town, that was the song I walked in on. I don't know if you could hear it. I would have played it a lot louder and a little longer, but I'm an old DJ. Why small town? I was born in a small town. I was born in Goleta. Yeah. My parents moved back to their hometown in Santa Maria when I was just a couple years older. So Santa Maria has really been my hometown. And I am a big fish in a small town. I know this. And I was very happy with this. I was very happy living the life with my high school sweetheart, my rock, my strength, Kori Gonzalez. She's right over there. Woo! But as you have heard from Andrew, thank you, Andrew, that when I was about 46 years old, things started to go wrong. And since then, I have learned how to live well in this community with MCI, mild cognitive impairment, and early onset dementia. And I am proud to be a part of the Alzheimer's Association. I want to do something really quick. If you can put the slide up of the sky. So I was on a walk. For those of you that don't know, I've lost 180 pounds in this process of getting healthier. What's good for the heart is good for the mind. I actually did that. 180 pounds. It's a full person. I had a reporter the other day say, wow, that's a story within itself. I said, yeah, it is a story within itself. But when I was on a walk recently, I took this picture. And I really had a chance to think. I thought about my life prior. My wife was living with a man who couldn't remember a lot of details. He was afraid of getting in front of crowds when traditionally I would get in front of 6,000, 7,000 people, no problem. I was having sundowner episodes. Our life was changing at a time when we thought our life was going to go toward trips, maybe a new career, maybe a new place, a new state. But my mind and my body had a different mind. So on this walk, I took this picture. And I'll tell you why. If you look at that picture, I want you to do a little something for me. Pretend you're me. Picture the blue sky with partly cloudy conditions, just like you're seeing now. If you could see one spot throughout the day, you could see there are moments where the cloud passes and it's clear and it's sunny and it's warm. But sometimes that cloud passes right over you. And it's cold, it's dark, and it's scary. I wasn't ready for that. The sky looks so different to me. Because just as you tune in to Dave Hubday or whoever you want to tune into here on the Central Coast for your weather, it's the same for us. We don't get Dave Hubday to tell me what the weather's going to look like tomorrow. We don't know if it's going to be a cloudy day or if it's going to be a bright, sunny day. But I will tell you that I am very proud to be in front of you and tell you that I am alive today because of a strong, passionate, caring woman. That woman right there. You can go to the next slide. As I said, my name is Tony Gonzalez. I am 48 years old, and I am living well in my community. A few years ago, my family and I noticed the first few signs that something was wrong. I found myself having difficulty with my work responsibilities, and others were noticing too. My family, my friends, my coworkers, but everybody thought he's just tired. He's doing a lot of things. He's busy. And honestly, I took those excuses and tucked him in and said, I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I got a lot of worries. But I knew something was wrong. My first realization that something was really wrong happened when I was coming home from work. I was in my hometown. I was in Santa Maria, right next to, Taco Bell and In-N-Out Burger. I knew it well. I'd driven it 1,000 times. But this time, for some reason, I didn't know where I was. I didn't know where I came from. I didn't know where I was going. All I knew was I needed to call my wife, my rock, my everything. That's all I knew. I honestly couldn't tell you if I knew the number. That's pretty scary when you're that age. Luckily, it clicked about 30 seconds later, and I went home and I told my wife that I think something's wrong. And she said, well, no, that's okay. You're just tired. You're stressed. You have too much going on. Maybe we need to start working out again. Another ironic moment was when I was at home with my family and I came in from a barbecue, because in Santa Maria, we love to barbecue. Well, I was out barbecuing and I was waiting for a package to come. My son, at that time, was an inactive Marine, but I was very proud of his service to our country, and I wanted to wear American flag socks. It was just a little special thing for me, something to show that my son did something right. Well, I walked in, and I said, does anybody know if my package has come? And they said, yeah, it's right there. And I reached over, I picked it up, I opened it, and I said, these are great, they're gonna work awesome. Only everybody looked at me as if my head had blown off. And I looked at my son, I said, what's wrong? And he said, are you kidding me? I said, what do you mean? He said, Dad, you just came in here 5 minutes ago and you did that. I said, I did what? He said, everything. Everything you said and did, you did that. I just played it off because I didn't want to scare anybody, but I was scared. That night, Kori and I sat in our room and I told her something is really wrong. We immediately went to our doctor. He spent the next couple of years bouncing around from general practitioners, from UCLA, then finally to UCSF, and a few things were working against me. It was a struggle to be heard by the medical professionals and insurance companies, as I was not what their studies and what everybody pictured as someone living with dementia. I was starting to lose weight. So even the friends that I knew, my family, my community, said, what do you mean? You look great. You look healthy. You look the best I've ever seen you. You see, this has no scars. You can't tell. I spent the next couple of years with UCSF, and a few things were starting to work. Due to my family history and culture, I did know that my grandmother had passed from complications due to dementia. And I really thought I knew Alzheimer's and dementia, but I didn't. Now, there were other family members who showed signs, but they weren't being addressed. You see, the Hispanic culture that I was raised in is one that does not understand this disease. And it's always dealt with shame and secrecy. We put them in the back room. We take care of them, but we don't socialize them. That was not good enough for Kori. No. You see, my wife and care partner Kori and I together decided that although we had no control over what was happening to my brain, we did have control over some things. That was her line. Tony, I can't control what's going on in your brain, but we can control some things. And I thought, okay. So we made some more changes to give me a new normal, a new way to live a good quality life. I was obviously ready to just say good night. And actually, we had a friend of ours who said, there's nothing that can be done for you, but we'll be here for Kori. I had another friend that said, I don't know how you don't put a bullet in your head every day. These are my friends and my family. If it was not for Kori, I would not be here, I promise you. Kori was a special education teacher. She researched brain exercises, changed our diet to a new brain-healthy Mediterranean diet. She set up safe zones in my home for me to feel good and comfortable and do brain activities like coloring and word finds and puzzles. And if you know me, you know I could not even do a stick figure, but now I spend hours coloring and painting and finding the color in life. To say that this was not what I thought we would be doing right now, well, that's a huge misunderstatement. I often reflect how my best friend and my wife of over 25 years and I were set to enjoy our empty nest time. We were ready to go play with our grandchildren, maybe even move to a new state. But now things have changed. And I know some of you are probably sad out there for me. Please don't not be sad. You see, this disease made me stronger, made me a fighter. It picked on the wrong people. I always say person, but I will tell you, the wrong people. I have, in 6 months, had such a surreal experience with this organization. If it wasn't for the support for Kori and I, we would probably still be home alone, and she would not have anybody around her. But the Alzheimer's Association has not only allowed us to have a support group, but it's allowed us to heal. And more importantly, it's allowed us to do something about it in a historic time. You see, just a few weeks ago, Kori and I traveled to our nation's capital, to the White House. And we met with representatives. I literally yelled at the president from his front lawn and said, "Mr. President, I need your help." I'm not going to talk to you about that today because I was thinking about who I was meeting with today, and I'm so glad that you're all here. But it really is an honor to be here with the Women's Initiative. You see, the women in my life are what make me strong. Before Kori, there was my mom. She stands about this tall. And I have so many people that go, "Wow, you came out of her." I go, "I wasn't this big when I got here." She's amazing too. She now has had to deal with her mother with this disease and see her lose her mother. And now she battles through wondering if it's going to happen to her, but what's happening to my son? You see, it's not meant for parents to bury their children. I wasn't going to let that happen. So the only thing I knew, which is what I learned from when she had cancer many, many years ago, was that in order for this to work, all we need to do is gather community around. We need to get research and money behind this, and we can find a cure. I did not know how prophetic those words would be. This is a very exciting time for this disease. But let me talk to you a little bit about the things that Kori does, because a lot of times with what I'm doing now, the meds and the medical and the politics eat that up. But I want you to understand that this woman had not only me to deal with, she had her grown children. You see, under 65, it changes the rules, right? Over 65, we would have been maybe, hopefully a little bit ready. We were ready to retire. I was not ready to retire. So it looks different. Grandchildren, friends that want to go out. We had to find a new way. And thanks to Kori, I have a new way. We as individuals living with dementia have spent our lives contributing to our families and careers and communities our entire lives. And we still have very much to bring to this world and to our communities as early stage patients. Since I've been diagnosed, I've been more involved than ever. I've shared my story in local and national media. I've educated others as part of panels and conferences. I was selected to serve on the National Early Stage Advisory Board and now on the governing board. But we still need to press on. There's a lot of work to do. New medicine, new therapies, new research. This really is the most exciting and historic time for this disease. And I will tell you, I am proud to have this disease right now because this is the time. This is the era of treatment. I hope that you all can understand how much this changes your life and how easily it would have been for Kori to walk away, to sit and cry with me, and to give up. But she didn't. So although yes, maybe it's a medicine that will help, it is a therapy, or it is a coloring, or it is social activity, all these are great things. But what your people need is community. They need you. They need you to be their care partner or part of their care team. Before this happened, I wanted to run for politics, and I wanted to have a great chief of staff. And I have to tell you, I have the best chief of staff ever. She's stopped working to help not just me, but the Americans across this nation and the people in this town. She sits up at night saying, we're not doing enough. Oh, God, are you kidding me? That's what we need. We need to help each other. We need to bring it out of the backyards and back rooms. And we need to educate ourselves because this disease is changing because of people just like you. That sky that you saw in the beginning, yeah, it's scary when the clouds come over. But when you're in a room where you finally feel normal again, and people are there, scientists, researchers, people that give of their own money to make a change, then you know everything's gonna be all right, and there's nothing but blue skies ahead. So I thank you so much for all that you're doing. I ask you to stay involved. Not so much involved in what I'm talking about when you see me on YouTube or any of the Facebook. Be involved in those that have the disease. Don't leave them alone. They're still there. Trust me. I know my grandmother more than ever, and I'm so thankful that not only my grandmother, but Kori's grandmother, Eldine Scolari, was there first. They showed me how to be good humans. They showed me how to walk the walk, as Andrew said. So I'm eternally grateful for my mom and those before me, my grandmother, Maggie, my Kori's grandmother, Eldine. But I am most grateful for my friend, my rock, and my woman of the year every year, Kori Gonzalez. I wish you all good brain health. Thank you very much for being here.